Thomas and Rosie were puffing with their passengers on Annie and Clarabel. They traveled through the bridge, but their train was too heavy, so Thomas and Rosie puffed hard. Thomas and Rosie were starting to lose control, and after that, they started to come off the tracks. They weren't going anywhere. "Oh dear," said Thomas. "How are we going to get back on track now?" "I don't know how," said Rosie, "but we can't go back until someone pulls us." Then a voice boomed from outside. "What's that noise?" said Thomas. "I don't know, but it sounded kind of familiar," said Rosie. "That's the sound of Timothy the ghost engine," said Annie. "And he's coming too," said Clarabel. "What kind of sound is that?" Thomas wondered. "And here he comes." At last, the whistle was coming from a white tank engine. "So you're the little two puppas that are broken down," he sniffed. Thomas was cross. "And you're just an old rip-off of me," he snapped. "That would be a ghost rip-off version of you," said Timothy. "And I haven't got much time to pull you back on the tracks." So he coupled behind Clarabel. And he pulled with all his might. "Just catching my breath," said Timothy to himself. It was a lot hotter than usual as expected. When Timothy pulled them back on the tracks, he was feeling very pleased with himself. "And next time don't be so careless," he scolded. Thomas thought Timothy was the rudest engine he had ever met. But he was very happy him and Rosie were back on the tracks. The two engines started talking to each other about Timothy, and it was depressing. "Who's Timothy anyway?" said Rosie. "He's a ghost engine that got scrapped by Sir Topham Hatt the earlier night, after crashing from that bridge." "Oh dear, were you scared?" "Let's not dwell on the past," said Thomas. "We better get ready for sleep, so let's go to our sheds." When night came, Timothy was very scared. He was feeling more paranoid than ever. Then there was trouble. Timothy's wheels had started to move. And he was heading right for the buffers. When Timothy was taking his long journey over to the station, he heard a familiar voice. "I found you, Timothy," said Emily. Timothy felt scared, so he raced away as his wheels could carry him. Emily was right behind him. The chase was on. "Oh no!" cried Timothy. "This is worse than I thought." Timothy was racing down the track. He could barely outrun Emily in time. "You're not getting away that quick," said Emily. But she couldn't catch up to Timothy. Later, Thomas, Lady, and Gordon were talking about Timothy on the dark side, but when they heard a familiar voice, "Emily," said Gordon. What in the indignity are you doing? When is this chase going to end? Said Timothy. 'Cause I'm losing steam! I'll get you next time, smiled Emily. Yes! Cried Timothy. Later that night, Timothy spoke to Thomas and Rosie. I'm sorry, Thomas and Rosie, if I caused you any embarrassment. Apology accepted, said Thomas. At least you escaped from Emily, said Rosie. Timothy told Thomas and Rosie all about his story of how he crashed from over that bridge, and which came to a happy ending too.
Roblox. What will you build?